Welcome to another episode clip of, I don't even want to know what I want to call it, but welcome back to But Why Though? And today we're talking to my newly found friend, Miss MJ Grady. And so what we're going to talk about today is elders. They get a pass on being rude and disrespectful. But why though? So sis, what you got for me?
Well, I'm dealing with an elder that no filter whatsoever, and I'm just trying to, get on by and be nice. But I feel
Did you
like,
say get by?
yeah, I'm just like, you know what? Just let me go ahead and live my life and not, go into it. But I have a grandma, love her dearly. She's
Mm-hmm.
turned 90 this November. Glad to still
Yay.
have her in the land of the living during COVID. So all of that is fantastic, but she rude. Oh, she rude. She all the way rude,
Now, did
ma'am.
she know that she's rude?
Oh no, oh no. She just believes she's giving good advice, and I'm like,
See,
mm-mm,
okay.
mm-mm.
See, and I'm so one so there's two types of elders that's rude and disrespectful. It's the ones that don't know they're rude and they just this is just how they are, and the other ones that I know I'm rude and I don't care. I'm
Mm,
grown. I've earned my keep. This is deal with it.
that seemed more like
But
her right
why
there.
though? Will we be those people when we grow up? Like, suck it
I
up.
I was taught to respect my elders and to do as they say and not as they do, and to do the please and thank you and the ma'ams and sirs and
All of that.
give all the pleasantries and all of that. I was taught that by my grandmother. And unfortunately, none of that exists when she talks to me or
Okay.
anybody else.
So is it new or is that how she's always been? And
You
has
know,
anybody ever said anything to her?
well, I don't know if the people I live in who said something back to her. I don't know.
That
Um,
part.
I'm trying. I want to live through it, so I don't do it. Maybe my grandfather has told her, but he dead, so he didn't live through it. So I'm just,
You know what? You
I,
know what?
man,
So wait a minute. So answer me this, because this is what because we can maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's why they are rude and disrespectful is because nobody feel like, well, that's grandma, so we can't say nothing, or even not even that far. Oh, maybe that's mama, because our parents have a way of saying stuff without, putting
well,
any sugar on it.
my mom, she said some stuff back, and my grandma pulled the gun out on us. So I just feel I want to live through it. So, I have two children, two beautiful children. I have one that's going to be 9 and one that's going to be 3, and they are wonderful kids. And my grandma keeps reminding me of how old my children are, but how wide my hips are still, and how big my butt is. And have you seen
Do
your
she think
face?
it's a compliment? Does she think it's a compliment?
I, I I'm sure by the look on my face, she knows it's not a compliment. But I be having speech bubbles going in my head, like, and you talking about me, but you sitting on your behind all day, and it's spreading all up in here. If you would just give your butt a rest and stand
MJ,
up and walk over somewhere,
MJ.
maybe. I mean, the speech bubble be going, and I just feel like, I say, I know, thank you, I appreciate it. When I show up in my stretch pants during COVID time, and she wants to up here and talk about me in my leggings or my jogging suit and all that I'm trying to cover up the COVID weight on top of the baby weight and all that good stuff. But she just let me
Uh-huh.
have it, and I just be like, that ain't that ain't nice. And I
Okay.
can't say that back to her, and I can't say
No.
that back to anybody out in public in front of her, because she'll be
Oh
like,
no.
"Girl,
So then is it only grandma that you've experienced this rudeness with?
her mother was just like the way she is now." And so her mother used to talk like that. So I've heard my great grandmother talk like that to her, and she
Mm.
dead now. See, people don't live through this. So just saying.
But mom doesn't seem to be going in that direction though, right?
um, no, mom doesn't go in that direction. She makes sly comments, but not direct
To the
like my
extent.
grandma.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I have to admit, I am very expressive in how I talk to some people
Just a little
sometimes.
bit.
So I may have inherited a little bit of grandma, but I was raised by her, so it's to be expected. But I notice it, and I kind of dial back. I have a lot of speech bubbles going, and just don't say it. But I was
Okay.
told that once I hit that age, I might let some things go.
So that's what I've been told. Once you get to a certain age, it's like, look, I've been holding it back all this time. I ain't holding back not now another thing. I'm gonna tell you, I'm on my way out of here at some point. So I'm gonna tell you how I feel today.
See?
So
Yep.
what do you suggest? Not for grandma, but we have some elders who step out of line and step out of place and those type of things. What do you suggest? Um, well, we know we'll talk about how the children can address it, but because there's still a respectful way that youth can address adults that are disrespectful. But what do you say as an adult who's married with your own children, your own bills, and all of this other good stuff that nobody's contributing to but your family, your household? Um, how would you suggest people address those type of disrespectful, rude elders?
Well, for those who are going through it with their elders speaking so rudely and out of turn, um, just be mindful and keep being respectful of your elders. I know I run into people all the time out in the grocery stores and out in the good old Walmart, and the elders who greet me at the door nice, but the ones inside the store not so nice. I just do the please and thank yous and just try to walk away. And for the elders who are those rude and disrespectful people that saying whatever they want to say, I'm gonna say please use your speech bubble and try to keep it moving.
So you
Um,
don't address it? You wouldn't address it?
I I wouldn't address it because sometimes you get to a certain age and you're so used to saying things and doing things the way that you want to that it's hard to change that behavior. But it is easier to shape the minds of the next generation to have that kind of respect. When I do speak to my grandmother and I do address some things that are just way too out of control, I'm
Mhm.
quick to go, Graham, that wasn't so nice, so caring. Could you have said that a different way? And sometimes I get a positive answer, and sometimes I get an eye roll or whatever. But at least I've said something, and
Very
I
good.
think that there is a way that you can say things to your elders that can at least let that kind of bothered me, or something like that. Like I've said some things to my grandmother in passing that I didn't think were rude or disrespectful, but she was, she's quick to go, Maisha, the way you said that, I'm just it didn't flow right, or something like that. So I'd give her that same kind of courtesy, like that didn't
Absolutely.
come out right, Graham. That didn't come out right.
And that's good.
But
That's good. Go
for
ahead.
strangers, no. For strangers, I'm gonna let you be old and rude to whoever you choose to in your life, unless it's something disrespectful. Now, if it's disrespectful, now I'm gonna go. I know you're older than me, and I know you know better. Like that's when the mama like
Got it.
snap out of it. Like I'm, that's a no
Okay.
no.
Well, that's good.
Like
That's good
I've
that
had people cut me in, yeah, in line, and I just go, you go on right ahead, cut me in line, and you take 10 hours trying to find your money, and I got my card in my hand, but you go on ahead, you didn't earn
see,
that
and for me,
today.
that what you just said might actually come out of my mouth. Like, did you really just cut me out and counting this change with? Okay, all right, that interesting.
Mm-mm.
So,
See, that's a speech bubble. Like it's not supposed to come out like
see,
that.
and for me, I first of all, I've never had to deal with that type of disrespect. Like some people are just ignorant. I find,
Hmm.
and like even when it comes to the weight thing, like I'm not necessarily on the heavier side, but I'm not. I'm like just because I'm not big doesn't mean I'm healthy. So when I say that I'm going to work out, what you working out for? And like because I need to work out. Like
You're
mind the
not
business and
carrying
say
my
do.
weight.
That part. You're not the one that's having a hard time getting up every morning because all this extra stuff going on. Like this is not normal for me, so I need to get to what my normal is. And so a lot of time, what I've learned to do now is to speak up. Like I don't give them how they give it to me. So I'll adjust how I say it, but I'm definitely at a point where I need to say it. Like
Yeah.
you're not gonna, because if I don't say anything, every time I come in your presence, I'm going to be disrespected again because you don't know. Now, if you know and you choose to do something differently, then I'll remove myself from your presence because I'm not going to subject myself to foolishness. Like,
Yep.
I don't care who you are, right? Wow. So
I
these
pick and
old folks,
choose my time. I pick and choose the time that I'm gonna go over and be with my grandma and how long I'm gonna be there. And after I've been there long enough, I'm like, all right,
yeah, I love you. It's time for me
love
to
you,
go. I got to get back home.
ma'am.
Yeah.
You know, she stayed in my house a couple of months when she was recovering from a hospital stay, and
A
she was
whole couple
upset
months.
about yeah, she was upset about being at my house, and she thought that she had to stay here forever. And I was like, man, whenever you're ready to go, trust and believe. We will make sure you get back to your house. Like I have no problem with that. And
But
you
you
know, she
stayed
lives.
2 months.
I mean, yeah, she stayed a couple of months. And, you know, we had a nice, comfortable spot for her and everything. It was, you know, really rough at one point, and we thought that, you know, she wasn't gonna make it, but she's still
Mhm.
here. And
Amen.
it's just like, you know, you got to do what you're supposed to do for your family. I mean, my grandparents made sure I had money in college, had set aside money for me to go to college, gave me a car when I graduated college. Like, my grandparents took care of me, and I'm not an only grandchild, but I was the
Oh,
one who was favored. And so I did not take that for granted. When I graduated college, I moved into their house, and I paid their mortgage and worked a full-time job, and I went to get my master's degree while living with them, and I took care of them. Every doctor's appointment. My job, I said, look, I have no kids, but I have grandparents. And when they have doctor's appointments, I have doctor's appointments.
yeah,
Whatever time that I can take off, I'm going to make sure they are there where they need to be. So
yeah.
I took care of them. And even to this day, my grandmother's turning 90. She owes a few $1,000s still on her house. And I said, hey, she's turning 90. We can't throw no party during COVID, but we could pay off her mortgage and give her deed in her hand.
That
So
part.
yeah, and that's the kind
So
of thing.
I'm sure the viewers want to know
Hmm.
the couple months that she was at the house. Now we know she was recovering, but how was that?
Well, in my house, I have nice space. So I would just go to my room. I had a nice TV in my room. And my mother stayed on the same floor as her. So those two, you know, did their thing. I called family members from out of state to come visit with her, you know, come stay at the house, I'll barbecue, and, you know, we make sure that happen. And when she get, you know, a little flippant, I'll be like, you know, it's summertime. I'm going out on my deck. I have my hammock. I put my sunglasses on. I would listen to
Yeah,
my music, have my portable speaker. You know, I made sure we had some distance when those times were necessary. Now, my mother and her mother have a interesting relationship. So when they would get into their thing, I'll go, you know what? I'm going out for a little bit, be back in an hour, two, five, whatever it take, whatever it
hmm.
take. But, you know,
Okay.
I was okay with it. And when she was ready to go home and we had the house all situated for her, made sure everything was set up in her house for her. And we have sent her back. And since then, she does not want to come to my house to stay or whatever because you know, she stays alone and she's supposed
Hmm.
to have my uncle there or whatever. So we're just like, you know, hey, come stay, you know, overnight out here, and more than happy to have you and everything. Got everything she need on the first floor. So
Uh-huh.
bathroom, bedroom, kitchen, whatever. She's like, no, that's okay. Okay. But she always want to know, did you cook? What you cook?
Right.
Can I have some of that?
That's,
Can
that's important.
what you bake? Can you bake me some bread? Because you know I love baking and cooking and stuff. Like, yeah, the
Oh
hips
yeah,
don't lie.
yeah,
But
that part.
Yeah.
we'll talk about that too,
Oh,
because I'm still waiting to eat some of this good food. We already had a situation that was supposed. Okay, we're not even going. All right.
yeah.
Thank you for coming on,
Oh,
MJ.
you're
If you are
welcome.
listen, if you have a subject matter that you want to include, please email me at info@eliminatingexcuses.org. Or if you would like to be a guest on the show, you can also come on and email me. Email info@eliminatingexcuses.org. Again, MJ, thank you so much. I can't wait to bring you back because you know what? We got to have another conversation.
I
I
got
love you,
I
girl.
understand.
Y'all
You
have a
too.
great day.
Good night.